Welcome to Impartial Points and our explainer on government shutdowns and how they aren't just simple political standoffs. They carry very real consequences for millions of Americans. Government shutdowns. That's a term that often makes headlines and stirs debates in Washington, D.C. But what exactly happens during a U.S. government shutdown? Why do they occur? And how do they impact the economy and everyday lives of Americans? In this video, we're diving deep into the mechanics of government shutdowns, exploring their causes, effects on federal operations, and the ripple effects on the national economy. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of this complex phenomenon that periodically brings parts of the federal government to a grinding halt. Part 1. What is a government shutdown? Definition and causes. A government shutdown occurs when non-essential federal government offices close due to a lack of funding. This happens when Congress fails to pass sufficient appropriation bills or continuing resolutions to fund federal government operations and agencies. The federal budget process. Budget proposal. The process begins with the president submitting a budget proposal to Congress for the upcoming fiscal year, which starts on October 1st. Congressional action. The House and Senate then draft, revise, and are supposed to pass 12 appropriations bills that fund various parts of the government. Presidential approval. These bills must be signed by the president to become law. Failure to agree. A shutdown occurs when Congress and the president cannot agree on funding levels or policy riders attached to the appropriations bills. Partisan disagreements, disputes over budget priorities, policy issues, or political strategies can lead to impasses. Internal party disputes. A more recent phenomenon is when members of a single political party in the majority are incapable of coming up with a budget plan that their members can get behind. Part 2. The mechanics of a shutdown. Essential versus non-essential services. During a shutdown, federal agencies categorize their functions and employees as essential. Services that are deemed necessary for the safety of human life and protection of property continue to operate. This includes military operations, air traffic control, law enforcement, emergency medical care. Non-essential. Services that are halted and employees are furloughed without pay. This includes national parks and museums, processing of certain government permits and applications, regulatory agencies' routine inspections. Impact on federal employees. Furloughed employees. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers can be furloughed, meaning they are sent home without pay. Working without pay. Some essential employees must continue working but do not receive paychecks until after the shutdown ends. Contractors. Many government contractors also face layoffs or delayed payments with no guarantee of back pay. Part 3. Historical examples of government shutdowns. The 2013 shutdown. Duration, 16 days, October 1st through the 17th, 2013. Cause, disputes over the funding of the Affordable Care Act, or as Republicans call it, Obamacare. Impact. Closure of national parks and monuments. Furlough of more than 800,000 employees. Reduction of about 120,000 private sector jobs. Estimated economic cost of around $6 billion and a reduction in GDP growth of around 0.25%. The 2018-2019 shutdown. Duration, 35 days, December 22, 2018 to January 25, 2019. Cause, disagreement over funding for a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Impact. Longest shutdown in U.S. history. Approximately 800,000 federal employees were furloughed or weren't paid. Estimated GDP loss of $11 billion, with $3 billion permanently lost and a similar GDP growth reduction. Part 4. Economic impact of shutdowns. Immediate effects. Reduced consumer spending. Furloughed workers and those working without pay may cut back on spending, affecting local businesses. Delay in government payments. Payments to businesses and individuals, such as tax refunds or government subsidies, may be delayed. Interruptions in services. Closure of national parks affects tourism revenue. Delays in permits can stall business projects. The impact on the GDP. Short-term GDP reduction. The economy can contract due to decreased government spending and reduced consumer confidence. Productivity loss. Government projects and services are halted, leading to inefficiencies and additional costs to restart operations. Effects on consumer and business confidence. Market volatility. financial markets may react negatively due to uncertainty. Delayed investments. Businesses may postpone investment decisions due to regulatory or funding uncertainties. Part 5. Ripple effects on the economy. Local economies. Tourism-dependent areas, communities near national parks and monuments suffer losses from decreased tourism. Federal hub cities, cities with high concentrations of federal employees, like Washington, D.C., experience significant economic slowdowns. Federal contractors and small businesses. The contractual delays, payments to contractors are halted, affecting cash flow and potentially leading to layoffs. Small business loans. Processing of Small Business Administration loans is delayed, impacting entrepreneurs. Global perception. Credit rating risks. Prolonged shutdowns can lead to concerns about the U.S. government's creditworthiness. International confidence. Global markets may question the stability of the U.S. political system, affecting foreign investments. Part 6. Services affected by shutdowns. Suspended services. Environmental and food inspections. Routine inspections by the FDA or USDA may be delayed. Scientific research. Funding for research projects can be paused, affecting progress and employment. Federal hiring and training. Recruitment and training programs are halted, affecting workforce development. Services that remain operational. Social Security and Medicare. Benefits continue to be disbursed, though customer service may be limited. Postal Service operates independently and continues mail delivery. Part 7. Resolution and recovery. How does the shutdown end? Passing appropriations bills. Congress must agree on and pass funding legislation. President's signature. The president must sign the bills into law. Post-shutdown. Back pay. Historically, furloughed federal employees receive back pay after a shutdown ends. As the numbers earlier demonstrate, this doesn't offset the economic damage to the country as a whole. Resuming operations. Agencies may face backlogs and increased workloads to catch up on delayed tasks. Post-shutdown economic recovery. Short-term rebound. Some economic activities may experience a temporary boost as delayed spending occurs. Permanent losses. Certain economic impacts, such as lost productivity or consumer confidence, are not fully recovered. Part 8. Preventing future shutdowns. Policy proposals. Automatic continuing resolutions. Mechanisms to maintain funding at existing levels if new appropriations aren't passed. Bipartisan agreements, encouraging cross-party collaboration to resolve budget disputes. Public awareness and engagement. Voter influence. Public pressure can motivate elected officials to find compromises. Understanding impacts. Increased awareness of shutdown consequences may deter political brinkmanship. In summary, government shutdowns are more than political standoffs. They have real and lasting impacts on federal employees, businesses, and the economy at large. Understanding what happens during a shutdown highlights the importance of effective governance and the need for cooperation among our elected officials. As citizens, staying informed and engaged can help promote accountability and encourage solutions that prevent future shutdowns. Thank you for joining us in this in-depth exploration of U.S. government shutdowns and their economic impact. We hope you found this discussion informative and insightful. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world of information at your fingertips. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with others. Join us next time on Impartial Points.